Welcome back, guys. Thanks for joining me for another beer review. Hope you're all well. Hope the light's okay on this. It does seem a little bit dark. Can you turn it around there? Will it make any difference? I don't know. Anyway, we're back with another one now, and this is actually revisiting a beer. Got it for my birthday off the mother-in-law. She bought us a few beers, and I decided, literally just today, I thought, well, I've done this before. And I thought I'd actually just do a re-review, really. Not as a massive sort of serious review. I will review it seriously, obviously. But I just thought I'd do it and just see if I still sort of like it. I looked back at the other video. I didn't watch it, but it said, my thumbnail on it said, thank God for this beer after the last two beers I'd done. So I'd clearly had some stinkers, and I clearly, just from that thumbnail, said to me that this was a decent beer. Now, I reviewed this beer. It's from Buxton, by the way. You'll know from the title already. It's Buxton Axe Edge India Pale Ale. There we go. 6.8% IPA, 440ml can, probably about 350, probably part of a 4 for 3. It's had a branding change as well. But I actually reviewed this. It said on YouTube a year ago. But it's probably way less than that, it's got to be. But it was actually almost 700 reviews ago when I reviewed this beer originally. So I'm taking a look at it 700 beers later almost. Well, reviews later. A few more beers, I think, probably near 1,000 beers, if not more. So yeah, so we're going to take a look at it. What I'm going to do is I will pause the video in a minute, but I'm actually going to take a look at it and pour it through my old Ambiano, Aldi's beer dispenser, their physics kind of thing. We're going to pour it through that just for a bit of fun, really, to try and give it a nice draft pour, get a nice thick head. So I'm getting some use out of it. Thankfully, the video that I've done actually paid for this, so that's a bit of a bonus as well. So I'm going to pause it in a sec. We're going to get this set up. There's another quick look at the can before we move on. I do like the can, actually. I actually think it's better than the original one. Like I said, 440ml, 6.8%. What it says is our refreshingly hoppy, grapefruity flagship IPA is named after a moor close to England's highest village and was once roamed by some pretty edgy characters, including counterfeiters, prize fighters and hawkers. It maybe still is. There we go. That's a bit harsh. You can't go branding people as that, can you? They might have been years ago, they might not be now. Anyway, Buxton Axe Edge. I'm going to pause the video. It's going in my Buxton glass that was very kindly sent to me from Liam from Deep in Brews Reviews. So go and check Liam out as well. So I'll pause it, get the can all set up. We'll come back, we'll do a video of the pour, crack on. Right, we're back. Can is sitting in this little machine here. What I'll do is we'll tilt it down. I'll do a video of the pour, and then obviously we'll come back and I'll do a little bit of movement. You can see there it'll take a little bit to come through, but we'll have a go. So Buxton Brewery Axe Edge IPA, 6.8%. Let's see what we get through here. It does pour slowly, but we should have a lovely head on it. And this handle's actually got a two-way thing, so if we don't get a massive head, if we push it backwards, it actually foams your beer up more. But this is looking lovely at the moment. It's got to be said. You might not be able to see, well, you clearly can't see much at the moment. Yeah, we'll give it some of that. You might have a bit more joy. But yeah, it is slow. But hey ho, if it's a good beer, it's worth waiting for, and it's pouring lovely, it's got to be said. Look at that. Everyone says, oh, it's all a gimmick and what have you. It does pour you a bloody nice beer though. Look at that. That is looking lovely. That is looking lovely. And I'm just going straight there to get a nice bigger head. There will be a little bit left in there, but we'll leave it for now. So all I'm going to do is just turn the camera around, maybe get a bit more light in here, a little bit of a wiggle. There we go. We'll sit back a bit more so you can see us. So Buxton Axe Edge IPA, 6.8%. Look at that beautiful creamy head on there. it's got to be said, it's not about this machine on this video, it's about this, but it's got to be said, you can get a beautiful head on your beer with that. It looks lovely, doesn't it? Does look lovely. So it's very hazy for a start. It's looking darker in the camera, well, as it would when you got no light on it, but it's like a deep hazy orange looking beer. We got a lovely finger and a half of compact white head on there. Any bubbles going up? I can't see nothing. It's that hazy, but it looks very decent. So let's give it a swirl. Look at that. Let's give it a swirl. Dive in with the nose, see what we get. Not a lot, if I'm honest. I'm not picking an awful lot up on it. A little bit juicy, a little bit fruity. That head must be so thick and compact, it's really sort of holding any aroma in, but there's a slight sweet malt note. A little bit orange marmalade maybe, a little bit sort of subtle grapefruit, fruity, hoppy. But it is very sort of dulled down. Whether that head's, I'm hoping that it's just the head and not my nostrils, but what is there smells all right. So let's dive in. A re-review of Buxton Axe Edge IPA, 6.8%. I can't remember the last review. I like the beer. Am I still going to like it? That's all we're looking at now. Let's dive in. Cheers. Oh yeah, that's lovely. That is lovely. Oh, big grapefruit. Very much. I think that's very much a West Coast sort of style IPA. That is. That head that has helped pour gives it a lovely creamy head on it. Gives it a lovely sort of creamy body to it as well. Certainly makes the body, I always think a decent head on a beer can sort of fool you into thinking the body is better. I think that is what is happening here. Decent body, soft, smooth, creamy, not in taste, but as in mouthfeel, if you like. Gentle carbonation. It's sort of got West Coast there, but not quite full on West Coast. Now, it's not saying it's a West Coast, it's just saying it's an IPA, but there's certain little things in this that give it that West Coast feel. I'm going to pour a little bit more while we're here. Yeah, that's all I'm going to get out of it anyway, because I've virtually poured a pint anyway, if you like. There's probably a little bit left in the can, but we'll get that out after. But on the taste, straight away there's big grapefruit and quite big bitterness in there. Yeah, for me, an orange citrus note, along with a malty sweetness. Both of them are quite well balanced for me. I'm not a big lover of that sort of orange citrus sort of bitterness, but I think the malty sweetness that you get alongside that tones it in a bit. But just behind that, you do get a big sort of grapefruit hit, a big grapefruit bitterness, and you probably are getting a little bit of that orange sort of citrus bitterness behind it. It's definitely got the feel of sort of like a traditional sort of style West Coast. It hasn't got that pininess for me, but like I said, it's not saying it's a West Coast. So not having that pininess or that resinous sort of side in it, for me, sort of drags it, or certainly drags it away from the craft sort of West Coast, but it sort of drinks like a traditional sort of West Coast. It goes down very, very well. It is really enjoyable. I tell you what, sometimes it's nice revisiting a beer because you realise how good some were and this is certainly one of them. This is a great beer. Yeah, and strangely enough, it's obviously hoppy. Strangely enough, what I find with a lot of IPAs, the hops sort of take over that malty sweetness. But drinking this now, you still get that malty sweetness. It's maybe not lasting right to the very end. I think right at the very end, you're getting grapefruit, orange, citrus, bitterness. It's dry, and it does leave you dry on the back end. That's a fantastic beer. 6.8% as well. Really is. You know it's a boozier number. You're getting that from that sort of bitterness, that sharp orange maybe, that grapefruit. I think that's where I feel the sort of alcohol in beers, but you don't really feel that it's 6.8% because it drinks so well. So yeah, I mean, that is a fantastic beer. Like I said, probably £3.50 and probably part of a 4 for 3. So realistically, if you want, you could say you can pick up 4 of these for literally just over a tenner, a 6.8%, 440ml can, granted, but that's 3/4 of a pint of a quality beer. That is still a fantastic beer to me. That still puts an awful lot of beers to shame in the supermarket that are coming out now. This has been around for a long time, and that certainly shows up an awful lot of beers that I've had. I was going to get the can out. Fuck it, we won't get the can out. Buxton Brewery, Axe Edge, that you get in the supermarkets, revisited, still a very, very decent beer. And if you can get it at 4 for 3 for literally £2.50 a can, fuck me, get your ass in there, give it a go. So there you go. There's my thoughts on this beer a second time, nearly 700 reviews later. If you've had it before, let me know what you think. And if you haven't had it, get your ass down the supermarkets. That is beautiful. And if you happen to have bought one of these little beer dispensers from Aldi, pour it through there. It just adds another dimension to the beer with that nice creamy thick head. Makes it a different drinking experience. So it's repeating on me a bit. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you again soon on another one. Cheers.